As you might have noticed, recently there has been a trend towards making every AAA game multiplayer based and add microtransactions, then releasing more content for the same game for many years. Microtransactions seem to be a really profitable way of making money. One announcement that only amplified this message was the fact that EA just shut down Visceral Games, known for making Dead Space, the dark single-player shooter game series. This scared many people because they are scared that AAA single-player games are dying. Single-player games are doing worse than before. One reason for this is that most players are occupied by multiplayer games that are constantly getting more content. Buying a game that is getting more content all the time is just much better deal than buying a game that is the same price but is completed in 10 or more hours. Another problem is that people demand longer and better looking games, so the budget is growing more, which makes it a much bigger risk to make a single player AAA games. All is not doom and gloom for single player games. There is always a solution for everything, but what is the answer? We could learn from other mediums like movies. Linear single-player games don't have to be 10 hours or more. Why not make those shorter, like 3 to 6 hours long? Movies are 2 to 3 hours long. Why can't games be like that too? This would make it much cheaper to make games, and those games could be developed in 1 to 2 years. Usually, the development time is more than 3 years. Having smaller games but almost the same size team would make some incredible looking games, because the devs would be able to concentrate on a smaller scale. Of course, the price should then be lowered to $20 to $40 range. Hellblade is a great example of this. Making single-player games cheaper would make games more accessible to more people. If you want to see more about this topic, watch my earlier video about why $60 is too much for a game. But what about open world games? Those usually have to be quite massive. I think we could learn this from TV series. Those open worlds could be distributed in parts. For example, the first episode is one part of the world and then add more parts to the world in later episodes. Another interesting option is to create an open world and then adding missions in episodes. One similar example to this, even though it's not open world, is from the most recent Hitman game, which added levels in episodes. When a game is getting older and the sales are slowing down, we could look at Netflix and how it brings old movies and TV series back. This could bring more revenue for developers and more choice for people. Xbox Game Pass and EA Access are similar to that kind of system, so we will see what happens in the future. Single-player games are going nowhere, so don't worry about single-player games, because those will come back stronger than ever. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and keep on exploring.